Okay, so good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening. Um, Welcome to Tangle Tuesday. I'm Loretta West, certified Zentangle teacher and teaching artist. And we're going to have a good day today. I know it, I feel it. This is one I may be repeating for some of you, because I couldn't find a recording of it, and I thought I had done it before, but I thought, okay, let's do it again anyway. So I'm just going to get everybody's in now. And so I'm going to lock the meeting. Okay. So today you're going to need any kind of paper you have. So if it's a Zentangle tile like this is fine. Your sketchbook, if it's copy paper like this, it'll all work. And that's the beauty of it, that it is so accessible. Nothing special is required. You're going to need a pencil, and an HB pencil is fine. I have an 8B. Oh, I thought it was 4B. Okay, 8B, because it's dark so that you can see what I'm doing. And I have for my drawing pleasure, a Sakura Pygmy, very good, Pigma Sensei pen. Oh my goodness. And that's one of you, everybody. Okay. Anyway, so that's what I've got. And I do have a little tortillon or blending stump to spread out graphite, but your finger will do. A Q-tip will do. One of those makeup sponges will do the same thing. But fingers work really well. I'm going to add a little color today, and that is optional. You do not have to do that. I have my Pitt pens, so I like them. And today I'm using oranges, yellows, and a red, but you can choose whatever color you'd like. And for added bling, because we need all the bling we can get in the world, I've decided, we have a jelly roll metallic gold. That's what I'm using. So again, that's all optional. You don't have to have that. So just take a minute to get yourself situated and put your feet, if you can, put your feet flat on the floor. And really, this is something I was doing an online thingy, taking something, I don't know. You take so much stuff, you can't remember where it comes from. But one of them was really good, and it was about connecting to the earth. But one of the things that the instructor said was when you put your feet on the earth, that you try to feel the earth. And if you lay on the earth, that you try to feel it as a living thing. So just, take a minute to try to connect that with the earth in that way. Remember that it's a living thing and that we all depend upon. And one of the analogies that this person used was to think of the earth as a giant elephant, and that your feet are connected to this giant moving, living being. I just thought that was a great metaphor for connecting to something that's always with us, unless you have gone to the moon, which we wouldn't be. So whatever you have, we're going to start with a pencil, wherever you are. And I'm going to do a border on mine, but you do not have to. You can go edge to edge if you want to. So I also invite you, if you're listening to me and you want to have soft music playing in the background, that you certainly can do that. Okay, so I'll put a finger's width from each corner. I'm going to put a dot. Notice how slowly I'm going. So our nervous system responds to that kind of slowness. If you've ever watched somebody, a professional, talk to somebody who's having a panic attack or is anxious, and notice what they do. They talk slowly and they talk softly to try to calm the person down. So it's the same thing. So think slowly and softly as you work. You're just calming that individual that's inside you that needs that right now. And then we're going to just sort of connect the dots with a line. It can be straightish, it can be curvish. You can put a loop in it, zigzaggy. Mine's a little rusty this morning because this is the first time I've drawn anything today. Okay. And then we're going to divide this space up with some arching lines, some arcing lines. So I'm going to start here and lightly with my pencil draw an arc and another one. And another one, so 3. So now I have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 open spaces. And then in the corner, the upper right corner, I'm going to do another line. I'm going to go right over that line. Oops, I'm going to move some stuff around here in the way, out of the way. Okay. I'm going to do a half moon shape, best I can. You know, you might want to go over it again if it needs to be a little more rounded. I can see where I can stand that a little bit. And then you're going to put down your pencil and pick up your pen. And we're going to have a little bit of tea. And don't forget to take breaks. We tend to, when we're so concentrated on something we're doing, we tend to forget that. So every now and again, look up. I'm looking up and looking out my window and I'm watching the 2 young people across the street and they just had a big hug. Oh, so sweet. It's always worth looking up. Okay. And I'm just going to restate this arc right here. Go right over that line again. And then we're going to start with some funky petals. I would sort of start in the middle here and have these rays come out, curl around. Another one. Look, I'll just go this way, little tendrils. And however you want to draw these kind of petals or rays is really up to you. You don't have to do it at any time exactly what I'm doing. I encourage you to experiment. If an idea comes to into your brain, they can be fat and thin. different lengths. You want to make sure that there's a little variety. To avoid the picket fence syndrome, I call it. Let's get that one a little curl that way. So also wanted to mention, I put it in the chat already, that I'm doing a Zentangle retreat online at a retreat or through a retreat center called the Naramata Center, which is in southern BC. And on the 24th of July, the emphasis will be on the Zen part of Zentangle. It won't be so much about a technique as in creating that relaxed focus. So if you're looking for a refresher just for yourself, or you or someone you know is just beginning, it's a really good immersive experience.
Loretta, I'm sorry if I missed it. Are you going to post information about that, like on your Facebook page? Or
yes, it's in the chat. There's a link. I've just put this
chat?
morning. Yeah, it's in the chat. And also, oh, now let's start the dog barking. Yeah, yeah. And
okay,
it's
because yeah, it
also
was blank before. Okay, thank you.
okay, yeah, it's there. And there's also on, if you go to the Tangle Tuesday Facebook page, and if you're not a member, I'll ask to be a member, and it's also on there. And I put it, I'll probably put it all scattered here and there. I haven't got to that part yet. I started to. Okay. So continuing on here with our tendrils, rays. Okay. So we're going to come back to that, and we're going to concentrate on these things. Now, one of the very first Zentangles I ever learned is shard, S-H-A-R-D. And just checking here to see. I think it's an original Zentangle pattern, or I'm not sure. I did have it. No, it's not. I've got it written right here. It's Shard by Carol Ohl, O-H-L. Let me write that on a piece of paper here for you. Okay. I don't know, it was, I think it was probably the very first one I ever saw online, and I thought, oh, that is really cool. I like that. So that's what it's called. So it's old. And I'm going to start in this lower, I'm going to turn my paper. So turn your paper so it's comfortable for you. And I'm going to start with this little shark fin right there and black it in. And then go and aura around it. A few times, whatever feels good to you. And then do another little shark fin right there. You can fill up this whole space or just part of it. You don't have to fill up the whole thing. You can do a few shards in one area and leave a space, and then try another bit somewhere else. Incorporate it with another tangle that you're thinking of. Really play with whatever pops into your head. And as my space gets bigger, my pattern gets larger. Slide a little guy right in there. And maybe your little triangle to begin with, or your shark's fin might change shape a little bit, and that's okay. Might get a little more elongated, might get fatter. And remember, if you can, to keep your feet on the floor. Think about that connection to the earth, that the earth is a living thing. A giant elephant's back that we all ride upon. And how are you holding your pen? Can you loosen your grip a little bit? It might make your lines a little more wobbly, but that's okay. Wobbly sometimes means you're relaxing. And are you breathing? Do you need to take one big breath? Move that diaphragm. But I think I'm not going to fill up right to the very top. I think I'm going to leave a little space, a little breathing room right there. I'm going to have these shards also, these lines of the shard, go under the rays or the petals that come out. We'll just take a minute and put your pen down, maybe, if you're finished that one part, and look up. If you can, try to focus your eyes on a distant object. Take a deep breath. And this one is called, what we're going to do next is knase. Another old one. Let me just see. Just trying to look up. I don't know if it's a, that's knase, K-N-A-S-E. And it's described as an official pattern from Zentangle.com. So that's what it says. It must be true. Okay. So this is another one that I used to do a lot of. I'm sort of revisiting old stuff today. Like, oh, another one that I learned on. So with this one, we're going to start with a zigzag pattern. So just start with a simple V and connect the V's. And they're going to get larger as your space dictates. And I'm going to skip over these lines, draw in the air, and have it come back up here. So I'm drawing behind this space. Then I'm going to aura. So I'm going to start at the top here. And just have a line coming down to there. And a line coming down to there. And the same thing over here. Let's move this up so you can see. Tiny, teeny, weeny down here. And then some wiggly lines. It's like you're a little skier, slalom skiing down the hill with your pen. And then aura, this same line. And another one. So I'm going to do one over here. And if you, again, you think of another pattern that you want to put in that triangle space that's different than what I'm doing, I invite you to experiment with that. Just have fun and play a little bit. Then here, these are going to come down, and then I want to fly over, catch up the other spot. Fly over. Okay, so in this triangle, you can do all sorts of things. You can put another tangle in there. You could black them in. That's the classical way to black these in, just puddle in some black. You could also leave it for now and then color it later. So I'm going to leave mine for now. But if you want to black that in with some black ink or whatever ink color you're using, go ahead and do that. I think though I'm going to, just for now, leave that. So again, we'll just take a little break. For our next tangle, and let you catch up. Okay, the next tangle is called scallops. Let me write that down for you. By the famous Suzanne McNeill. When I was first learning about Zentangle, there were no teachers near me, and so I really depended upon her books. And I'm grateful, very grateful for all that she did. So if you've not picked up any of her books, it's a good start, and you learn a lot. Very inspiring. So scallops starts similar to the tangled tag. So I'm just going to start with this U shape down here on the bottom. An upside down U there, and an upside down U there. And again, starting and going from one middle to the next. And just like before, if you don't want to fill up this whole space, you don't have to. I'm going to come up to this one and fly over that little tendril. Same here, and join them there. Sort of restate this line there. Same with that. So kind of drawing in the air here. And I think with this one, I'm just going to go part way up. I'm going to go all the way up. And then I'm going to aura around these outer lines, just on the inside. I also want to state that if you'd like to join the Tangle Tuesday Facebook group, you just look it up. It's 2 words, Tangle Tuesday, and ask to join. And you can share your work there or anywhere else you want. If you want to share it on Instagram, you can tag me at Loretta, Loretta, .west, W-E-S-T, .artist. You can also follow me there if you want to. Okay. Then we're going to do it part way up here. I want to start here so it's big spot. And do another arc. So each one is going to have a little middle arc. So time is ticking for us today. So I'm just going to finish to show you this, and then you can finish it later. And I just go in and do these little rays of lines. My voice left. Hang on. Silly pollens. Just do some of these rays. And here to finish this off. So you would go and do the whole thing by adding the extra arcs and the rays. And then in the center here, you could take your pen and just puddle a little black right there. So there you have scallops. So I'll give you a second here to catch up. Okay, the next one is called spoolies. And the name of the artist is Zenjoy. Or Hannah, Henny? No, Hanny. Hanny W. So anyway, it's a fun tangle. And so how it starts, I'm just going to start in a large space here. And it starts with sort of the number 9, like sand swirl starts, if you're familiar with that tangle. And then another one comes in, and then it joins at the tail. And you can make this as large or as small as you want. So you have this little funky circle. And then we'll do another one. I'm going to change my position here and do another one. Again, I'm reminding you to hold your pen softly, as if you were holding an egg, and to feel your feet on the earth. So we'll do another one over here. This one is going to tuck in behind the other two. Okay. I'll just do one more here, and then we'll do a little bit of color and a little bit of shading. You can fill up this whole space if you wish. Okay. So I'm going to switch to my pencil and get my little blending stump here and do some shading just a little bit. So where these lines intersect here, I'm just going to lay down some graphite. Come in and with my very well-used blending stump, and I don't know, I could get a new one out, but I just like these old nubbly soft ones. They have character, so I keep them going till there's none left. In school, I never liked new erasers. I always liked the old ones. I don't know why. They had gotten all soft and experienced, I guess. It gives you an idea what you can do, where the lines intersect. Give it a little more depth on that one. And then this one, I do some shading here where the peaks and valleys are. That's one option. Can also shade, just down the middle maybe. Maybe alternate it. And then here in the scallop, this begs to be shaded where they overlap with one another. This needs a little, you don't need a lot. And then these spoolies are very cool. So I'm going to shade around here where they join up. And also where they overlap. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of color, so you can continue with that on your own time. And I've got some yellows here. I've got a really light yellow. Show you. A light yellow, and I have a slightly deeper yellow, and an orange, and a red. It's always good to test your colors first, and I try to not, it's hard, trust me. My red's very, very pale. I have to get a new one. I try very hard not to bring too many colors into the mix, so I try to keep it 3 to 5, so I've got 4 here. I find if I get too many, then things get a little crazy. So I'm just going to take my kneaded eraser, wherever I put that. I had one right here. Well, I guess I won't be taking my kneaded eraser. I was going to just erase this line in here, but if I can't find it, I'm not going to be able to do that, am I? Okay, so we're just going to wing it, as I do most things. And I'm going to start at the top here with this lighter yellow. And again, I'm using Faber-Castell Pitt pens, a light fast pen. And then I'm just going to layer on and just bring together a little bit of mushing together this yellow. It's going to get kind of ugly right there where it's going over the graphite. But this is just playing around. And then just starting to incorporate some orange. We go, oh, that's such a deep orange and that's such a big transition, Loretta. What are you going to do? No worries. I've been down this road before. So then you go back to your deep yellow and just mix it in as best you can. Spread it out a little bit. I'm going to bring it right into this light yellow. Bring some more yellow down here a little bit. And go back to my orange, my deep orange. Oh, it's so orange. I probably have some fancy name for it. Orange glaze. I think that the coolest job would be naming colors, like working for a nail polish company and coming up with those wild names for your nail polish. I think that would be a cool thing to do. Next life, maybe. Just save that one. Okay. And then I'll go back in with my deeper yellow and just sort of blend them together. Not smoosh, blend, right? I don't remember the right word. So they casually blend together. And because I used this with the darker pen, I've got to go in and sort of clean it off on a piece of paper like that. And then for the rays, I'm going to take the same yellow and I'm kind of careful not to dip it too close to the edge because sometimes it picks up, yeah, there you go. It'll pick up the black ink, the yellow will, where it's certainly more visible. So you can just carry on and fill those in. Where they overlap, you could just casually put in some little dots of the orange. Back with the yellow. And blend that in. Then, if you want to, you can do another tangle over top of the yellow and see if it's dry. Yep. So like shaddock might be a thought. So quickly do this in for you. This is a very active little Zentangle, kind of busy, but bright and sunny, cheerful. And then if you wish, you can go in and black these little triangles in there. And then I'm going to get out my gold pen and I have to do like work incantation over it, because sometimes, you know, they'll work and then they won't work. And even though I test them before I start a class every time, sometimes they don't cooperate because they don't have to. So I'm going to just go in here and do some printemps, little curlicues. You can see that. It's kind of hard to see, but there it is. There you go. Right over the orange, here and there. I'm going to go different ways. And in between, I'm just going to do little dots in an arcing fashion. Can see that. Just adds a little more dimension to what we've got going here. Okay, and then I'm also going to do little dots coming around the edge of this arc. So I'd fill this all up with these little printemps dots. So you can see just, oh, that's pretty. Okay, I'm part crow. If I see bling like that, I get all happy. Okay, and then, you know, you can also add gold elsewhere. So if you want to, you could add gold centers to these little spoolie numbers down here. Really have fun in adding just a bit of a spark to it. So here's one that I had done previously using different tangles. So you can see with the gold. You'll see the gold on there. Oh, can you see it? Okay. But anyway, so you can see what it looks like finished. And I'm going to stop the recording now, and thank you very much for joining me today.